Whenever you're ready.
Okay, can you guys tell me who said, quote, well, Beethoven was lunatic too, end quote. I'm going to give you a hint. It's the same person that said, I'm Rick James, bleep. I've always believed that there is a fine line between lunacy and genius. And genius to me is when somebody can produce something that stands the test of time, whether it's art, music, a car, a beautiful car. And I really think that in 75 years, people are still going to be listening to Rick James music. A lot of you guys might be too young to know who Rick James was, but I think people will still be listening to Super Freak a long time from now. So today I'm going to tell you about the rise and fall of Rick James, and you will learn about his early years, his incredible talent, and his hopeless addiction that led to his premature death at the age of 56. If you take anything away from my speech today, I hope that it's a sense of sadness over his life that was filled with crazy bad decisions and a realization that every addict has a complex story. He was born James Ambrose Johnson Jr. on February 1st in Buffalo, New York. Interestingly, he was the nephew of the bass singer in the Temptations group. His name was Melvin Franklin. According to his obituary that was posted on the CNN website in 2004, he was the third of 8 children. His father was an auto worker who later abandoned the family, and his mother was a dancer. At the age of 15, and this is according to Wikipedia, and Wikipedia backed up a lot of other research. There was a lot of conflicting things about why he dropped out of high school, but he dropped out at 15 and joined the Navy Reserves. And some people say he did that to avoid the draft, but it doesn't make sense because he was ordered to report for active duty, and then he went AWOL and fled to Canada. And this is what fascinates me about the whole story. While he was living in Canada, he formed a band called the Mynah Birds, and the lineup included Neil Young. He used his Motown connections to get a record deal for the Mynah Birds. And when they crossed the border into the United States, there was something happening with his manager. They fired their manager, showed up in Detroit, made their record. Manager came to Motown and told Berry Gordy that he was AWOL. So the legal department at Motown said, turn yourself into the FBI. So he did. The Navy threw him in the brig. The record was scrapped. No one's ever heard it. And then Rick James went on tour. Neil Young went on tour with a different band and then met Crosby, Stills, and Nash. So after he got out of the brig, he went back to Motown and became a staff songwriter. In 1977, he formed the Stone City Band, which is very famous for several reasons. They were pioneers using electronic devices on stage. Nobody had ever done that before. Nobody had ever mixed punk rock, new wave influences with soul. And in 1981, he released the triple platinum album Street Songs, which I was fascinated by because I had never seen a man wearing thigh-high red leather boots. And his most famous songs came from that album. He often referred to himself as the most sampled artist of all time. His music has been sampled by Jay-Z, J-Lo, Busta Rhymes, Will Smith, Dr. Dre, and many others. And in 1990, according to the Rick James estate, which maintains rickjames.com, he collected his only Grammy, which was because MC Hammer had sampled Super Freak on You Can't Touch This. And that was a big controversy back then because, lots of artists were sampling other artists' work and no one was getting credit for it. So he actually received a Grammy for co-authoring You Can't Touch This. He was a very prolific songwriter. He wrote hit songs for Eddie Murphy, Smokey Robinson. Tina Marie was one of his proteges. He launched her career, and he launched the careers of the Mary Jane Girls. He also used to tour with Prince. He kind of got Prince started, and Prince got mad at him, or he got mad at Prince because he said Prince was stealing his stage moves. So he broke up with Prince, and they didn't tour anymore. He developed a reputation for being a wild partier, became addicted to crack cocaine. At one point, his addiction cost him $7,000 a week. During the height of his drug use, he was convicted of assault and false imprisonment and spent 2 years in prison. And in 1998, he suffered a stroke, which affected his speech and mobility, and he never really performed live ever again. On August 6, 2004, he was found dead in his apartment by his caretaker. And although the official cause of death is listed as an enlarged heart, he had like 9 different drugs in his system, which included methamphetamine and cocaine. So you've heard about his amazing musical career, his bizarre personal life, and his untimely death, and hopefully you will ponder what might have been had he and Neil Young stayed together. So weird. I hope that from now on, when you think of Rick James, you remember a sad life that was cut short by addiction. And I would like to leave you with another quote from him. I'm still a juvenile delinquent. I haven't gotten out of it. I've only perfected it.
Very good. Is that everybody? Just give me 2 minutes to show you a little something. Would you mind pulling up your PowerPoint real quick? How many of you guys are familiar with the set transparent function in PowerPoint for manipulating images? Okay. Was very pleased with all the speeches today. Was very pleased with all of the slideshows. One little thing though that might have made a couple different slides make a little difference to make them look a little more professional is this set as transparent function. And if you're really, really familiar with PowerPoint, like the 2003 version of PowerPoint, this was a tool which was up there in the drawing bar, but in the more recent iteration of PowerPoint, PowerPoint 2007, PowerPoint 2010, it's gone away. It is a tool now that you have to go into the customize your toolbar to find. So we'll go ahead and look at that. And what I mean by customizing your toolbar, I'm just going to put that right there so you can kind of see it a little better. You've got a custom toolbar up here at the top. And essentially this comes pretty standard with just like a save and an undo and redo, sort of button. And then you've got this down arrow right here, and that allows you to customize this quick access toolbar. So what you're going to do is go ahead and come down here to more commands down here. Well, I guess it's better if I don't step in front of it. Down here, right here, more commands. So the default here is popular commands. You want to come down here at all commands and show all commands. And then now they're just alphabetical, so you'll scroll all the way down here to the S's, and you're looking for set as transparent or set as transparent color. And you'll see here that that particular icon sort of looks like, I don't know, kind of like a multicolored piece of chalk, like a blue and a gold piece of chalk that's intersecting with a 90-degree angle. So we're going to go ahead and click off on that. And we're going to put that, add that over here to our quick access toolbar. And then we're going to click OK. Now, this is a really, really cool image. I really, really liked that image. I thought that was really visually evocative. There with the chain of survival and how all those things are interlinked. And plus the little graphics intersect inside of each of the links were really, really neat. Now, what might have made that slide look a little cooler would be if we eliminated this white background.
I tried to figure out how to do that, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, that's how you would do it. It's the set as transparent function. So we're going to come right up here, and we're going to click on our image and get our image where it's the thing that's been selected. And then we're going to come up here, and we're going to click on our tool. And then we're going to come back here, and we're going to click on the white part of the image that we want to make go away. Because it helps if we don't click on the text box. So you make that part go away. Now, if you've got inset parts that are right here, sometimes that can be, a little tricky with an image like that. What you could do is you could insert a shape, insert a white shape right here, and then you would still have a white background essentially behind all that. So last thing, just real quick, insert shape right here. do something like that. You format your shape, change your fill color to white, and then send it to the back, and then most of your white stuff comes back there. Do it with one more image. So we'll come here, and this may make our pads look a little funky, but we'll see how it works. You come right there, you do that. So for some images it works really well, for some it's not as effective. For those two in this particular slideshow, I'm not very sure that I'm wild about it. I might just go ahead and switch it back and go with the original. So, but in some instances that's a cool tool to know about, and it can help you eliminate kind of some of that white field, which in some instances makes your image really pop off the contrast in the background. So anyway, just sort of FYI, thought I'd take 2 minutes of your time and show that to you. All right, any questions?
You're gonna change the date on the quiz to Wednesday?
I am going to change the date on the quiz to Wednesday. And in fact, I'm online, and I may just do that before I leave the room, actually. All right, we'll see everybody soon. Very well done on your speeches.